You walked out in that beautiful white, and I was like, they just painted my arms. I'm not this color. I'm like translucent, and I was like, don't touch her white shirt. It's lovely to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Yeah,
too.
you have
what
so
a
many
nice
fun
audience.
projects.
My God.
Yes, there's so much energy. That's what I love about this city. You have so many amazing projects going on right now. But summer's here in New York. Do you enjoy summer, or is it too hot for you?
It's hot, but I don't mind it here.
Yeah?
I mean, it's quieter in the city when everybody's gone. You can always get a table in a restaurant.
Yeah.
It's easier to get tickets to a show. It's nice to walk around the park. I like it.
Yeah.
I love New York.
It is very hot.
Yeah, it's very hot.
It is a different level.
Don't spend a lot of time in the subway. That's the one thing I would say.
Well, just walk,
Yeah,
even if it's clear across the island.
That's right, and slowly. Yeah.
Does it being this building remind you of 30 Rock when you were doing 30 Rock?
A little bit.
Yeah?
I mean, a little bit. We shot outside the building. We actually shot the interiors like in Queens, so it wasn't the but we did shoot like
y'all ruin everything when you tell us this.
I know,
was like,
I know that it wasn't really there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was also fun to do such an iconic New York City show.
Yeah.
I mean, that was really wonderful.
They really nailed it too.
Yeah.
Like this building and how crazy it is. It's really, really fun. So you're a New Yorker, but you went to college in Boston?
I did. I went to high school in Frankfurt, Germany, because my dad was in the Army, and I didn't know anything about schools in the United States. And I had an English teacher who said, you know, if you want to be an actor, there's some schools in this magazine. It was a magazine called Dramatics Magazine.
Yeah.
And so I picked out three schools: BU, Carnegie Mellon, and NYU. And I said to my parents, I'm going to go audition for these schools. And my mom came with me. Yes, I was the only one who brought their mom to the audition.
Yeah.
And anyway, we went to these different schools, and we got to NYU, and I had applied to the graduate program by mistake. They were like, how old are you? I was like, 18. And my mother said, it's too dangerous. You can't go to school here anyway. So I ended up kind of choosing between BU and Carnegie Mellon. I just went to BU because I thought Boston sounded good. So it was really random. It was not at all like what my kids' college application process was like. So it's changed a lot.
All right, so did you know that you would always, were you one of those kids that kind of knew you always wanted to do theater?
No, I really didn't. You know, I was good in school. I liked, you know, I thought I would go to graduate school for something because I was pretty academic, but it was this teacher that I had this really, really wonderful English teacher who was the head of the theater club, and she was the one who told me that I should try to be an actor. So it was completely random. But I'm telling you, it makes a big difference when an adult notices something that a child is doing and encourages them.
Changes
their life.
Trajectory of their
really
life.
Changed mine.
I heard that you were an avid reader, right? Growing up?
Yeah.
What are the books that you really you got into?
Oh my God! When I was a little girl, I loved all the Laura Ingalls Wilder's books. You know, all Little House on the Prairie. They went all the way up until the one that was published posthumously. You know, the one that she never finished. Do you remember that one?
No.
The first 4 years when she first got married, and her house burned down, and they had all this tragedy, and I was like, what happened? It was all so happy and nice when she was little, but it was the book that she never finished. It was just a draft.
Yeah.
So it was very different. But anyway, I loved her stuff. I loved Louise May Alcott. I loved any kind of series about girls. That's really what it was.
It seems like maybe you didn't always know you'd be an actor, but you always loved storytelling then.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
There's something magical about it.
So, and I liked books that were about you know, young girls and their self-determination.
Oh,
really.
me too. Jane Eyre was like, when I first read that, I was like, this is the most incredible story ever, because you love seeing that. Someone winning against all the odds. There's something special about that. All right, we need some commercials, and we have a guest in the audience ready to take us there.
Hi, Kelly and Julianne. I'm Julie. You're both so talented. Like, both of you are voracious readers just like me. Last year, I got through 52 books, one every week that I review online, and I'm on track to do the same this year. I love that books can take you to places and people you'd never otherwise experience. Stay here. Kelly has more with Julianne right after the break.
We are back with Julianne Moore. That was a look at her new film, Echo Valley. You can see it on Apple TV Plus starting Friday. This movie is intense.
Yeah, it's intense.
She's a turd.
Oh, but isn't Sydney great?
I mean, she's great,
so
but
good.
a turd.
She's so, it's a challenging relationship between a mother and a daughter.
That's
right?
nicely put.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she's such a wonderful actress, and what a joy to work with. She's really fantastic.
Tell us about what's going on here.
Okay, so let me see. My character has a difficult relationship with her daughter who is struggling with addiction.
You don't say.
And I know, and has becoming kind of cycling in and out of her life.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's something I think a lot of people are struggling with. And she loves her daughter to death and has a hard time setting boundaries. So this is really about like what what you would do, how far you would go for your child. And that's kind of what the movie's about. So it's a relationship story. It's a mother-daughter story, but it's also a thriller. There's a whole thriller element to it.
Yes.
It's very exciting.
There is a lot going on.
Yes.
Oh, wait, you shot on a real farm, right?
Yeah, we did.
That's kind of wonderful.
Yeah, in Lambertville, New Jersey, right in the border of New Hope. And it was so beautiful, really bucolic setting. A real farm with real horses and bales of hay.
Were you doing the
all
real
the good
chores,
stuff.
like all that yourself?
Yeah, I
That's
did it.
hard. Yeah, your arms hurt at
That's
the end
right.
of the night. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was nice. It was a fun place to be.
Yeah. There were also underwater moments, and you'd never really done that before in film, right?
So the movie, like I said, there's a huge action component to it, which I really didn't understand when I read it, because I was sort of concentrating on the relationship part. But there are horses, and we ride the horses, and we lead the horses, and we throw around hay, and I kind of clean things. And there's like a lake, and rowing a boat and diving into the lake and going to the bottom of the lake and coming up and diving in again. So I'm in the middle of all this, and I was like, I kind of didn't read the stuff in between the lines.
Yeah.
I didn't really notice. So we had to do all this lake work too. A lot of it was during the day, but some of it was at night. So, you know, it was like you have to kind of jump off the rowboat and get into the lake and swim to the bottom. But then when you do the stuff at the bottom of the lake, that's a tank. Okay. So we actually shot that in a tank in a different location. So when you see me going in at the top, that's the actual lake. And then when you're underneath, I'm in a big tank, which is kind of like a glass box where cameras can sort of see what you're doing, you know, through the side.
Yeah.
And you are brought down there by divers. You learn how to do, you know what a regulator is?
Yeah.
Those things. I'd never done any of that with like scuba diving stuff. So they have to teach you how to use a regulator so you can take a big breath of air in, push you to the bottom of the tank, and that's where you do all your acting.
I heard you
there.
kept floating.
I'm very floaty, evidently. Which means I think that my bones are hollow.
Or gaseous.
You know, I know, or gaseous.
Or gaseous,
Or something,
whichever
but
one.
my diver, who was so wonderful with me, found that if she let go of me, I just bobbed right back up to the top. So she'd we'd go down there, I had the regulator, and I'm holding on. She just push me down, push me down, push me down, until I'd find a ledge or something to hang on to. And then because otherwise it was just like, boing, right back up.
Yeah.
And then they had to weight my legs at a certain point too.
Do
It was
you,
fun.
like, so at nighttime,
Yeah.
when you're about to jump in water and you can't see the bottom,
Yeah.
do you, where do you go? Because, like, I don't,
It's so
that's
scary.
not my vibe.
Okay, so it's not my vibe either. And I
Yeah.
always say, like, I don't like the cold. I don't like the dark. I don't like to be wet. I don't like to be scared.
Okay.
I don't like to dive because I want my head to go in first. I don't like any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But if somebody says action, I'll do anything.
Oh,
it's really, I'm just like, well, I gotta go.
No.
And then I'm in. You know,
Oh my
I don't know
gosh.
what it is. I really don't know what it is. Because I'll look at the lake and it'll be really cold and I'm standing there and I'm thinking,
It's not the cold. It's like, what don't I see
it's
right
what's
now? You know
down
what I'm
there.
saying? Like,
I know, it's what's down there. And there's a lot down there, too.
Can I want to
Yeah.
show that picture again, though,
Yeah.
that shot, because this you should have framed.
Yeah, that's
No,
a
that
scene.
is so beautiful.
Well, the other thing, too, is that I'm not very sporty. I'm really not sporty, and I can't see anything. No one can see anything underwater, right? And they kept trying to teach me how to do things, and I was like, I'm never going to be able to do it. But then somebody said action, and I was able to do it like once, just like once.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
if that's what the once took, this is
Yeah.
one of my favorite shots ever. Like, this is just beautiful if you didn't know it was you. It's just like a really cool shot. Like, what's the story there?
Thank you.
She
It was-
escaping something?
I
Running
know, or
towards
was she
something?
going to
Like,
find
I don't know. I'm
Well,
really
you have to
into
watch
it.
the movie to
Yeah.
see.
Great to see you again. We're
So
in
nice
such
to
you have
see
so many
you.
things going on. I also love Sirens that you're in right
Aw,
now.
thank
Oh,
you
it's so
so
good.
much. Thank
Everybody,
you.
you can see Julianne's new film, Echo Valley. It's on Apple TV+. It premieres this Friday.